Pickleball is a game that is different from other paddle sports and racket sports. Pickleball is a game that leans towards touch and placement with a side of power when it's needed. In most games, you have to be strong and know where to hit the ball. A player can be deadly on the court if they mix the right things at the right time. A 3.5 player doesn't know when or how to send a drop instead of a drive or hit an unreturnable dink. A 4.0 player does. In other words, a player gets better at pickleball by mastering the mix and having a wider range of shots. If you're stuck at 3.5 in pickleball but want to get to 4.0, here are 7 shots that will help you get there. Hello, and welcome to Pro Pickleball Media, your #1 spot for all pickleball content. Our channel is dedicated to the fastest growing sport in the U.S., and we cover all fun and exciting things related to pickleball. So if you love pickleball and want to learn more about it, just take a second to subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't miss any of our recent videos. In today's video, we're going to talk about 7 deadly pickleball shots and tricks that will make you win every game almost instantly. Now, let's get right into the video. Number 1, the volley lob. You know how bad it can be to lose a game because of a well-timed lob shot. You also know how important volleys are to pickleball. They are so important that the non-volley zone was made to act as a governor. But what about the volley lob? Do you know how to do that? If it isn't, it ought to be, at least rarely, as all lob shots should be. The volley lob is a great offensive move that you can use from the air to turn a dink rally in your favor. Sending a volleyed lob from just outside the kitchen is like wearing sunglasses to a poker game. It'll be hard to figure out what you're doing. There are a few reasons for this, but one of the most important is that your volleys have more power from the kitchen line. You don't need a big backswing to lob the ball deep when you're that close to it. Because the backswing is shorter, it's hard to tell it apart from your dink shots or volleys during a dink rally. Your volley lob shot will depend on the angle of your paddle, a hammer grip, slow shoulder movement, and a slight leg lift, but not on a strong backswing. If you hit it out of the air, your opponent has less time to do something. You'll have to watch the ball go over the arm they don't use most often while you smile at the win. So, when to use the volley lob? First, you don't want to use this shot every time you have a conversation. It works best as something you throw in every so often at dink rallies. It's especially useful in a battle of attrition where your opponent expects you to drive the ball at them or just hit it back to the middle. They'll either be caught off guard or too busy at the kitchen line, but you'll send it up and just out of their reach. It's a lovely thing. Number 2, the backhand spin dink. If you're on defensive, this powerful cross-court dink shot isn't the best, but if you're ready to be aggressive and call the shots, a backhand spin dink can be a game changer. This is very effective because the spin is hard to predict. You can send the shot wide and you are close to the net. Together, your opponent will have to act quickly, and since the ball will bounce in an unpredictable way, it'll be hard for them to keep track of it. To make things even worse for them, you can change the spin by how high you hit the ball. If you want to throw topspin on the ball, you should hit it higher because you have to get over it. For a slice, the best way to hit the ball is lower because your arm moves up and the ball moves forward. When to use a backhand spin dink, attacking opportunities on the cross court. This is an offensive cross-court shot that takes advantage of the lowest part of the net, the center, and is only used when you aren't in reset mode. So don't try this shot if you only feel comfortable sending the ball down the line or if you have weak feet. To be able to do this well, you need to be in a good place. Number 3, topspin roll volley. This shot is hard to master, but it's one of the strongest and most impressive in pickleball. It takes a lot of skill, good timing, and knowing when to use it. The topspin roll volley is a hit from the front at about net height, where you can get under the ball and lift your paddle from a low position to a high position. It needs a backswing with about medium power. This movement and power gives the ball a nice topspin and pace that keeps the opponent on the far end of the court. Most of the time, it's a great way to set up the next shot. However, because of the spin and power, you might be able to force your opponent to make a mistake. This is a great way to keep your opponent at their baseline when you and your partner are at the kitchen line and they are back there. This usually happens after the third shot drop, if the team getting the serve return was able to keep the team serving at their baseline. Now, before we move ahead to talk about more game-changing pickleball tips, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel so that we can keep bringing more informative pickleball content to you. Your little contribution means a lot for us. Number 4, third shot drop. If you were going to make a list of the best pickleball shots, this one would have to be on it. Even though it's not as creative as some of the other shots on this list, we think it might be the most important one of the game. If you want to get to 4.0, you have to learn how to drop the third shot. In any rally, the order is serve, return to serve, and then the third shot. The 2-bounce rule is broken when the serving team touches the ball for the second time and makes the first shot. This is a bad time for the serving team from a strategic point of view because this is the first time that volleying is allowed during a live ball. The receiving team will get the first chance to volley because you may have had to wait for the ball to bounce before you could respond to the return of serve. The third shot drop is meant to stop the other team from controlling the court by sending soft shots into their kitchen, where they can't use them to go on offense. At most, they'll be able to get the ball back. The ball will fall low and stay out of reach of a volley. Since there is no volleying in the kitchen, their biggest strength based on sequence is no longer a factor. Number 5, Ernie. Whether you like it or not, the kitchen is one of the things that really sets pickleball apart. This 7-foot stretch from the net is the source of many court curses, and volleying in the no-volley zone is at the top of the list. So if you keep volleying when you shouldn't, the Ernie might be the shot for you. The Ernie is a shot that is meant to really test the rules of the kitchen. It lets you hit the ball at an angle, usually down or at a sharp angle right near the net, and is technically a way to volley above the kitchen. Number 6, backhand punch. Think about giving someone a punch. Now add a paddle to your hand. This is exactly what the backhand punch is for and how it got its name. When you play at the kitchen line, you punch the ball to your opponent's side. The way you swing is very important for the shot because it is so different from how you should swing for almost every other shot. The backhand punch is different from most shots because it doesn't use the shoulder on the backswing. Instead, it depends on keeping your shoulder mostly still and swinging your elbow forward and out. Unlike most shots, you're not trying to hit the sweet spot of your paddle. Instead, you want the ball to be closer to your hand and handle. This makes the ball hit more in line with the angle of your punch. You want to get more force out of the hit, so your arm should be slightly bent down. Lastly, and most importantly, the ball needs to come at you at the right height and be right in front of you for this shot to work. Do something else, it's coming at your feet, or you're reaching out to touch it. Number 7, the fake dink. You can put down your degree because you don't need an advanced degree to figure out how this shot works. When your opponent expects a dink based on the order of your shots or where you are on the court, a fake dink looks like a dink but actually drives the ball at the point of contact. A fake dink is the opposite of a dink. Instead of focusing on your soft game, it uses power and pop. You decide where to aim, but since this is often a shot around the kitchen, aiming at your opponent or down the line works like a charm. If you have the right angle, you should always go for your opponent's feet. Don't forget, variety is key. As you can see, there are a lot of different shots in pickleball that you need to learn if you want to get good at it. Pickleball games are never the same, so you have to change your strategy and choice of shots on the fly. The best players in the world are always able to stay one step ahead of their opponents by using different shots and strategies. The more different weapons you have, the better you'll be able to win points in games. So give yourself some time to try out all of these different pickleball shots. Choose the one that will help you the most and work on it for a while. Then move on to the next shot and keep doing this until you've done all 7. You'll be a strong 4.0 by the end. So what are your thoughts about these amazing tactics to uplift your pickleball game? Do you have any better ideas? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow picklers. Also, if you love pickleball, then make sure to watch this next video on our channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.